There's a lot of excitement and fervor for Ram Bhaks around the country on the inauguration of the Ram Mandir, which is expected in January of 2024. The Prime Minister is expected to inaugurate the temple sometime in the third week of January. To get us a ringside view, a sneak peek into what Ram Bhaks across the world can expect and how the trust itself is gearing up for what is expected to be record numbers of pilgrims coming in on a daily basis. I'm joined by a very special guest here on CNN News 18. Mr. Nripendra Misra is the chairperson of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirtha Kshetra Trust. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. First things first, you've had many profiles in your life, many jobs you've done before as secretary to the government, as TRAI chairperson, but the chairperson of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirtha Kshetra Trust. When the Prime Minister called you and said he wants you to take charge of this project, what did he tell you? What was the brief he gave you, and how did you approach this job? Because I'm sure it's very different from whatever you did.
Well, it will require a bit of clarification. I am born out of the Supreme Court judgment.
True.
The judgment said that there will be a trust which will be autonomous, and presently that trust is headed by Nriti Gopal Das ji, Swami, and the General Secretary is Champat Rai ji. The judgment had also envisaged and clarified and clearly said that the construction will be in the hands of a construction committee, which will be headed by chairman of the construction committee. So I am born out of that. I am chairman of the construction committee of Ram Temple. So that is what. Now ask about
taking up the job.
Second part. I was really not called by Honorable Prime Minister. There were inquiries made, and I had also casually talked about the possibilities because it was something very new which came from the judgment. It was not envisaged.
Correct.
So I had just mentioned this casually to the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister. It is possible that he may have conveyed it to the Prime Minister that this is what Mr. Misra has said. The inquiry came from Home Ministry, because they were responsible for the final drafting of the trust, the document which got registered, and they wanted to know if I would like to, and in the event if I am willing to accept that job, then they were keen that the draft of the trust deed must be seen by me. So all that happened before the registration took place.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more. Everybody knows that the inauguration of the temple will happen in January 2024. The Prime Minister will be attending. I know you can't give us confirmed dates, but what is the window that we are looking at?
We are talking actually not of inauguration. It is the understanding for bhakts and devotees and everybody that you provide Pran Pratishtha, consecration. And that is in the idol. Let me just first explain to you that what this idol is. You see, there was already a deity which exists of Ram Lala, and that deity has been recognized as a petitioner in the judgment of the Supreme Court. So that is one which will be installed in the sanctum sanctorum. But in addition, there will be another which is presently being carved, and three different sculptors at their own risk are doing the work on the basis of artwork which the trust gave to them. The artwork was done by a professor of the Arts College of Banaras Hindu University. The professor was told to create a picture which will be 4 to 5 years old. It will be a standing idol. Ultimately, it has to be about 51 inches. All these things have significance because it is closely linked with the technology. Based on that artwork, the sculptors have now started doing work. I should think that the final choice by every member of the trust,
Yeah.
that which particular work of the sculptor will be finally installed, and the Pran Pratishtha ceremony would start. That decision would take place sometime by end of November,
Okay.
or maybe middle of December. The entire ceremony of Pran Pratishtha will begin sometime after 14th of January. That is the Makar Sankranti.
Correct.
It normally should take 7 days to 10 days,
Okay.
and it will all be decided by the so-called specialists, the saints, the sages, who are responsible for this entire work of imparting the life in the idol. The day of completion will be so matched with the day of the arrival of the Prime Minister.
Okay.
We are expecting invitation has been given to Honorable Prime Minister. The office bearers of the trust have made a request to the Prime Minister's office to meet him personally and also extend the invitation, personal invitation. And we are expecting that the date will be announced sometime by first week of December about the Prime Minister's program. But with all the other engagements of his, including the Republic Day parade, etc.,
Correct.
it is safe to presume that it will be anything between 20th of January to 25th of January or 24th of January. The final date and time, of course, has to come from him.
What about the other invitees? Who else have you called? I believe the trust has said that over 5,000 people have been invited. Who are these people?
The work for inviting people is entirely entrusted to General Secretary, who is Mr. Champat Rai ji. But the broad breakup is that roughly 2,000 saints who were involved right from the very beginning in bringing this date to reality, they would be invited. Their representatives, different as we call them, believers in different form of prayers and idol, they will be invited. And another list of about 5,000 or 6,000 will be the distinguished guests of different walks of the society. They will be requested to come in the ceremony. So in all, it is expected that the day the Prime Minister arrives and he would be inside the temple premises, it will be something of the order of 8,000 to 10,000 guests who will be there. Yeah.
The other significant thing, and I guess the most viewer interest is in this question as to when will it be open for the public? Will it be right after the consecration ceremony itself? And how many people are you expecting? How many pilgrims are you expecting on a daily basis?
We actually gave this job of crowd management to one of the public sector undertaking of railways called RITES. They have done the study and they have actually surveyed the people who came in the last Ram Navami and on some of the other festivals. Based on that, the expectation is that roughly each day, immediately after the Pran Pratishtha, and when the Prime Minister leaves, the next day onwards, we will have devotees maybe of 1.25 lakhs to 1.50 lakhs.
So more than 1 lakh every day.
Oh yes.
And it will be open right from the next day.
Yes, it will be open to everybody from the next day.